Hello everyone, I am Nikki and welcome to Nikki CS class. In this video, we are going to discuss about the detailed solution of Mega Quiz Paper 2 Computer Science which was held on 5th July 2020. So if you are wondering where we are conducting these quizzes and all, then you can contact in the Telegram channel and I will provide the Telegram channel link in the below description box. So let's get started. First question was, consider the transaction T1, T2 and T3. The schedules are S1 and S2. 3 transactions and 2 schedules are given and we have to find which of the following schedules are conflict serializable. So let's get started. So for this you have to make, this is the process, okay, then I'll tell you the short trick how you can find without making these tables and all. So we have to make the transaction tables as the process says, okay. So here we have to make the transaction table like this. See, S1 for schedule S1, it is R1 of X. R1 of X means read the variable X. So R1 of X transaction of 1, it will be under transaction 1, okay. Then R3 of Y, read Y and it is transaction 3. R3 of Y, R3 of X, read the variable X, then read the variable Y, but the transaction is R2, so you have to write under T2. Then R2 of Z and W3 of Y, like that you have to fill W2 of Z, R1 of Z, W1 of X, W1 of Z. And again here you have to find the conflict pairs, okay. So what are the conflict pairs? Conflict pairs are those pairs which contains at least one W. W means at least one write operation, whether it is write or read, read or write, or write or write. So these three pairs are conflict pairs, but if you are reading 2 times, then it is not a conflict pair. And afterwards, after finding the conflict pairs, you have to make a precedence diagram of these transactions, these 3 transactions for schedule 1 and schedule 2, okay. So see, here we have to find the conflict pairs. For finding the conflict pairs, you have to check same variable as X and different transactions, same variables and different transactions, okay. So here let's start from R1 is reading X, see whether any other one is writing X. So see, X is here, but it is read, then find X. Here X is there, but it is same transaction, so it is not a conflict pair. So for R1 there is no conflict pair. Then again find for R3 of Y, check whether any other variable, any other transaction variable Y is present. Here Y is present, then find here Y is present, but read is not a conflict pair. This is not a conflict pair. Then again you have to check for this transaction, okay. Read of X, find anywhere X is there and with write operation. See, it is here, X is here, X is here, and it is a write operation. So from transaction T3 to W1 of X, this is a conflict pair. See, same variable but different transaction. This is transaction 1 and this is transaction 3. So there is a transaction conflict pair, okay. So and this is T3 to W1, sorry, T3 to T1. So you have to make this as precedence diagram T3 to T1, okay. Then again you have to check for all the variable like this. Y variable Y is here, Y is here, so R2 to W3, this is a conflict pair, same variable but different transactions. So R2 to 3, here one transaction is there. Then again you have to check for this variable, Z is here, Z is here, okay. So this is a conflict 2 to 1, this is a conflict. Like this you have to check. And if you find any cycle, if cycle is present in precedence diagram, then it is not conflict serializable. If cycle present, it is not conflict serializable, okay. If cycle is not present, then it is conflict serializable. If cycle presents, it is not conflict serializable. As here there is no cycle, you are not finding any cycle. See the direction, if the direction is like this, then if it was, suppose it was like this, then it is a cycle, but here there is no cycle present, so this schedule is conflict serializable. S1 is conflict serializable. But this is a long process to do all these transaction diagrams and all. I will tell you the shortcut how you can find the conflict serializability or not. Then see here, this is the process like this. You have to see similar variable, okay, same variable, x is here, x is here, okay, but see the transaction is read, so this is not a conflict. You have to check first for this variable, okay, for this variable find x, where x is there, where x is there, here also x is here, okay, same variable and same transaction, it is read one, it is w1, so same transaction is there, so this is not a conflict pair. So for r1 there is no conflict find. Again check for r3 of y, find y, here y is there, but this is read, no conflict, y, here y is there, but this is r3 and w3 same transaction, so this is not a conflict pair. Find y, there is no conflict in r3 of y, here there is no y present. Then again check for r3 of x, find the variable x after this, x, here x is present, okay, so see r3 w1, so 3 to 1, from 3 to 1 there is a conflict, so write the transition diagram like this, sorry, precedence diagram. So r3 to r1 there was a conflict pair, okay. Then again check for y, r2 of y, for this one find y, y is here, see 2 to 3, again one conflict we found, 2 to 3, so make this as 2 to 3, one conflict. Then again check whether anywhere y is there, no, where y is further, so again check for r2 of z, find z, where z is present here, but 2 to 2 there is no conflict, 2 to 1 but read, there is no conflict. Then again 2 to 1, see z is here, same variable and different transactions, so 2 to 1 there is a transaction, 2 to 1, okay. Then again find for w3 of y, find y is not there, w2 of z, see w2 of z, r1 of z, 2 to 1, again there is a conflict, but already we have made the precedence diagram, the transition from 2 to 1, okay. Then again find for z, there is a z but r1 and 1 same transactions, no problem. Then for x there is no conflict, we have find the same diagram as it is, but it took me very less time, okay, to do that one 5 minutes, and to do this one I have just take 1 minute or 2 minutes, okay. So this like this you have to find. If you will do this one also, see for schedule 2 I'll make t1, t2 and t3. See again for r1 of x, same variable we have to find where x is there, x is here but read, no conflict. Then again x is here, read, right, but same transaction, no conflict. Then no x. For y, here y is there but read, no conflict, y is here, r3, no conflict, okay. Then again find y, r2 of y, w3 of y, see here y is here and different transaction, read, write, conflict, okay. So 2 to 3 there is a conflict pair, okay. Then r3x, find x, where x is present, x is here, r3 to r1, see this one, r3 to r1, one conflict is there, so do this one, okay. Again find for z, here z but read, no conflict, z here, z is there, here also z is present, 1 to 2 there is a conflict. When you will find a cycle, then don't proceed again, okay, because cycle is present, then this is not conflict serializable, so our answer is only S1 is conflict serializable. I think you will get this process also. This is the very easiest process, you have to check. So if you can't understand in once, then do watch the video twice or thrice, okay, you will surely get. And this is a very important concept and question on the basis of UGC NET and GATE exam, okay. Then the next question is, consider the following statement: an entity constraint that no primary key value can be null. Entity constraint means yes, the primary field, the primary key field should not be null. So this is correct. A referential integrity constraint is specified between two relation. So this is wrong. I think this no is not given. A referential integrity constraint is specified between two relations. This is absolutely correct. And a foreign key cannot be used to refer to its own relation. It is wrong. A foreign key, see, if one table is given, then this can be referred to this one. Okay, so foreign key can be given in within one relation. Its own relation also it can be used. So option 2 is only correct. Then consider the following relation A, B, C with functional dependencies A to B, C to B, C to B. One second. Relation decomposed into these three different relations. Okay, how many of the above decomposition are lossless joint decomposition? They are asking about lossless joint decomposition. Okay, so if we'll find this one, R of ABC. R of ABC is decomposed into R1 of AB and R2 of BC. Okay, if we will join this one, we have to find the same relation as R of ABC. So whenever you have to check 2-3 things like this. If you are making a union of R1 and R2, then you should find the main relation AB union BC. Then we are finding ABC. So first option is correct. Then you have to find the common variables closure. If you are getting B, here the common variable is B. If you are finding B plus, then from B we can't get anything. Okay, see, from A to we can get B, from C to B, C to B, but from B we are not getting anything. So the second rule is the common variable, the common field should be a super key for any of the given relation or given tables. Okay, the common variables, that means if we are finding closure, then either AB or BC we should get. Okay, see the next variable. So here we are not getting anything as the, we are not getting the super key as the common variable, then it is not a lossless decomposition. Okay, see the second one, R1 of AC and R2 of BC. If we are we are making a join this one, if the union is like ABC, here AC union BC is ABC, we are getting ABC. So first rule is okay. If we are checking the second rule, the common variable here is C. If we are finding C plus, then we will get C to B and BC. This is nothing but BC, and BC is totally this relation. Okay, so C is a super key for this table. So this is lossless. This is obviously lossless. If we will check for the third option, then R2AB, R1AB, then R2 of AC. The common variable is A. If we will find this one A plus, we are getting A to B, A to B. Okay, so AB. So A is a super key for this table. Okay, so A is a super key for this table. So this is also lossless join decomposition. Okay, so these two are, how many of the option is 2 in the quiz. Okay, here one question is given, block size equal to 1020 byte and search key equal to 10 byte record pointer. They are asking the order P of the B tree. Okay, so if you will see this one, the formula is like this: P into block pointers plus, if you don't know about the B tree, then I will provide the link here. You can watch the B tree completely. Okay, P into B plus record pair R plus key into P minus 1 should be less than equal to the block size 1024. So this will be P into block pointer size equal to 9 plus R plus B, 12 plus 9 into P minus 1 less than equal to 1024, and this one is, one second, 31P should be less than equal to 1046. 1046. So P equal to, whenever less than is there, you take flooring function. Okay, so 1046 divided by 31, which is equal to 33. Okay, so this is the answer for the quiz number 4. Question number 5. If a relation R with only simple candidate key, then R is always 2NF but may not be in 3NF. ये हमेशा 2NF रहेगा क्योंकि जो हमारा कैंडिडेट की है, कैंडिडेट की हमेशा सिंपल, मतलब कैंडिडेट की हमेशा 1 एट्रीब्यूटेड रहेगा. ठीक है, इसमें 1 ही एट्रीब्यूट रहेगा. 1 एट्रीब्यूट है तो इसका हमारा सेकंड नॉर्मल फॉर्म का ये होता है कि प्रॉपर सेट शुड नॉट बी partial dependencies. Okay, so candidate key is 1 attribute, then partial dependency, if we will find the proper set will be 5. So it is always be in 2NF but may not be in 3NF. This is the answer for quiz number 5. Then quiz number 6, here they have asked to find the number of tokens. This is compiler design question and they have asked the given in this given program find the number of tokens. So every keyword is a token. Here like main is a token 1 2 3. Okay, 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. If comment line is given, comment line and blank spaces like space and comment, they are not at all keywords, they are not at all tokens. Okay, so for this you have to count 0. So for comment you leave this one. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22. So there are total 22 tokens given here. For comment and space the token number is 0. Okay, you should not count for these two, space and comment. For the next question, pumping lemma is generally used for providing a given grammar is regular. No, pumping lemma is a negativity test and it is used to prove that a grammar is not regular. Okay, so option B is correct. If L is a finite subset of sigma star, then L is context free, context sensitive, regular, or none of this. This will be regular. Okay, see, finite subset means finite is always regular, because see, if a to b2, a to the power n, b to the power n greater than equal to 0, this is context free language. Okay, but a to the power 2, b to the power 2, for this we can make the finite automata. Okay, 2's 2b's, so a b b, we can make the finite automata like this, final initial. Okay, so finite subset of sigma star infinite language is always regular. If it is infinite like this, n and n is greater than equal to 0, it is not a regular language, but finite is given so that it is regular language. Okay, then question number 9, consider the production grammar a to AB AS, A to A, B to B is given, corresponds to the production grammar. Okay, for questions like this we have to make the parse tree from the grammar. So S is giving AB and also S is giving AS. Okay, S to AB and S to AS. Again from this A is giving A and B is giving B, so we can form AB. Okay, and again if here I will take A is providing AS and A, if simply I will take A and capital A, from A we can get A and capital A, then again from A if I will get A, so it will be A and from S I will get AB and from here A and here B, so here I am getting A B. Okay, so at least one A and one B will get, and after that any number of A's and B's we are getting, either at least one A and one B will get, and with this we will get any number A's in between. So the answer will be A star B. Simply if we will take another example, like S is providing AB, then B is B but A can be AA, so from A again we can, so A B, so at least one AB or any number of A's in between, we can form. So the answer is A star B. A FSM has no memory, infinite memory, finite memory, or none of these. So FSM is finite state machine and it contains finite number of memory, okay, finite amount of memory. And then computer network questions. DBA of a subnet is given as 200.89.99.63. which of the following can be the subnet mask? So this is a very good question and we'll try it here. See, data DBA is given and we know that the DBA part of a IP address is all ones. The host part of the DBA is host part of the IP address for DBA is all ones, okay. So here 63 is given and 63 is 0 and all ones, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, okay. So the from here they have given DBA. From here we can get that the host part is this one, 7 ones, okay, and these are the network parts. These are the network parts and these are the host part, because for DBA all the host part are continuous ones, okay. So they are asking me which of the following can be a subnet mask, and we know that subnet bits are taken from the host bits, okay. So if you will convert the last one, okay, the host part, we have to check whether these are here there are 1 2 3 4 5 7 ones, okay. Sorry, this is 6. These are the host bit, okay, and these are the subnet bits, because this is 200 now, this is class C, okay, and for class C 24 bits are network bits and 8 bit are host bit, and these 2 bit are already taken for subnetting, okay. So they are asking which of the following can be a subnet mask for this DBA. Here you have to check how many number of host bit or how many number of host bit are there. Here 6 host bit are there, and you have to convert all these things to binary, and you have to check whether there are zeros which are less than 6, okay. Wait, we'll do one. 240, if I'll convert 240 to binary, it will be 11110000. You have to check this number of zeros because these are the host bits, okay. So this should be less than equal to 6, then only we can assign the subnet mask. We can take from here and we can make it subnet mask, okay. Then if I'll check 224, it is like 3 zeros and 5 ones, so this one also less than 6, so we can give 6 ones, okay. We can give 6 ones for subnet mask. Then 248, so 248 also like 1111 and again all zeros, 111 and 3 zeros, so 3 is less than 6, so this can also be a mask, okay, for this given DBA. If you are not getting this point, tell me in the comment section. I'll make a proper video on computer networking IP address, okay. So next question was, if a IP address is given and subnet mask is given, find the total number of subnets. Here see, subnet mask is given. This is given because from here we can get the subnet bits and the host bits, okay. So 224 is 111 and this, so this is the subnet bit. So here subnet bit is 3 and host bit is 5 and network bits is as usual 24 network bits, okay. So they are asking find the number of subnets. So number of subnet equal to 2 to the power 3 subnet bit minus 2, which is equal to 8 minus 2 equal to 6. So the answer for this question is 6. A company requires 30 hosts, then what is the least possible subnet mask? If see, network bit plus subnet bit plus host bit, one IP address contains these things: network, subnet and host, okay. This is the configuration: network, then subnet bits are already taken from the host, so we are making this as 3 field. 30 hosts are needed, so 30 we can make it as 2 to the power 5 minus 2, equal to 32 minus 2 equal to 30. So for 30 we are making this as 5. So these 5 bits are nothing but host bits. Okay, and again see 5 is given, so subnet bit will be 3, because see here, if we are taking a network bit, then host and subnet plus host. Okay, so host from host subnet bits are taken. So as this is 5, so least 4 octets are there na for IP address. This is 5 already host bit, then remaining 3 bit are for network bit. Okay, 3 bit are for subnet bit. So this will be 3 and this will be 5. 5 plus 3 8, and remaining are 24 bits are for network bit. So the least possible subnet mask is 3 ones and 5 zeros. So 3 ones is nothing but 224. The answer will be this one. Okay, 3 subnet bit and host bit are all zeros. This will be ones, and all ones before for network bit. All ones means 255.255.255. This will be network, and here 3 ones will be for subnet, and all the zeros are for host bit. This is the process to calculate the answer. Okay, so in class B, if subnet mask is given like this, class B is given, so these are the network bit and these are the host bit. Class B is given, number of subnets they are asking. So how to find number of subnets? You have to convert these things as binary. So 254 is nothing but 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and all zeros. Sorry, not here all zeros. Okay, so these are the subnet bits. 7 bits are subnet, so number of subnet will be 2 to the power 7 minus 2, which is equal to 128 minus 2 equal to 126. So answer for this question is 126. See, subnet mask is given as this and class B is given, and we know subnet bits are taken from the host part. So from host part these things become 1. It is nothing but simply the binary form of 254. Okay, and all zeros are the host bits. So here 7 bit are subnet bit, therefore total number of subnet will be 2 to the power 7 minus 2. That is as simple as it is. Okay, next question is, in a classful addressing, the IP address with 0 as network number. So whenever a IP address is given as 0, it refers to the current network. Okay, so answer for this is option A. If you will find the next question, these questions are on digital logic. What is the Boolean expression for the output F? NOR gates are given below. NOR gates circuit is given below. We have to find the F. So it is like this: P plus Q whole bar. This will be Q plus R whole bar. NOR gate is given like this. Okay, so this will be P plus R whole bar, and here it will be Q plus R whole bar. Okay, again if we will take these things as A, B, C and D. Okay, then we will get a proper result. Okay, this will be A plus B whole bar, C plus D whole bar, and it will be A plus B bar plus C plus D bar whole bar. And if we will find this one, if we will simplify this one, we will get A plus bar whole bar. So it will be A plus B whole bar, and plus will be converted to concatenation. Okay, sorry, plus will be converted into normal multiplication because we are taking this bar. Then C plus D, De Morgan's law. Okay, whole bar. Then bar and bar, it will be cut. Okay, so it will be A plus B into C plus D. I'm sorry, let's try it in a simpler way. Okay, this will be P plus Q whole bar plus Q plus R whole bar. This expression will be P plus Q whole bar, Q plus R whole bar, and all these two input will be again NOR gate. Okay, then this till here it is P plus Q q plus r whole bar and whole bar. Like this we'll get the same expression here as p plus r plus q plus r divided by whole bar. Okay, and again for this NOR gate these two will be added and we'll take the complement. The expression is like this. So how to solve this such expressions? This will be nothing but, if we will take the complementation, p plus q whole bar, 1 second, this will be p bar q bar, this bar I am taking out. Okay, then q bar r bar whole bar plus p bar r bar plus q bar r bar whole bar. Then again this will be converted into, if we will take this as a, okay, if we are taking this expression as a, then this expression as b, we will get a bar plus b bar whole bar. Okay, this will be a bar b bar whole bar and it will be a plus b. So a plus b is nothing but p bar q bar plus q bar r bar plus p bar r bar plus q bar r bar, and this will be unique p bar q bar plus q bar r bar plus p bar r bar, and this is nothing but the expression plus p plus q plus r whole bar. Okay, so like this you can solve this one. The answer is option C in the quiz. If we will take another question, the question is, the binary equivalent of the hexadecimal number AF28. So this will be 2D. A will be 10, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0. You know all these things, 1, 1, 1, 1. 2 is 0, 0, 1, 0, and D is nothing but 1, 1, 1, 0. Okay, so the answer is D. I think D is 15, no? D is 14. 8 plus 4 plus 2. D is 13. Okay, so the answer will be 1101. So this is the correct option in the quiz. Then again if we will see, f of abc equal to b bar plus ac bar, and they are asking the number of min terms present here. So how to find the min terms? The actual process is like this. If some variable is absent in any expression part, okay, here b is absent, so you have to take b plus b bar. As we know, b plus b bar is 1, b plus b bar 0 plus 1, take it as 1 plus 0, so it will be 1. Okay, so you can multiply these things like this. So it is like ab plus ab bar, like you have to maintain this expression as it is, but I will tell you the short trick how to find number of min terms. Here take b bar and a and c, a b c is given na. In this way you have to take the variable a, b, then c. Here a is absent, c is absent, so b is present. Here you take 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1 as truth table of two variable. Okay, and b bar is given, b bar is nothing but all zeros. Okay, and for a c bar, a, b is absent, c bar. So for a it is 1, for c it is 0. For the middle one you can take 0 and 1 for one variable. Okay, 0 and 1 and put as it is 1 and 0. Okay, so this is nothing but 0, this is 1, sorry, this is 1, this is 4, and this is 5, 4 and 6. So the min terms are sigma of 0, 1, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there are 5 min terms present, as simple as it is. The answer is 5. And for the last question, they have given the two hexadecimal numbers and they are saying to perform XOR operation. Okay, f is nothing but here 1, 1, 1, 1, e is 1, 1, e is nothing but 1, 1, 1, 0, 3 is 0, 0, 1, 1, and 5 is 0, 1, 0, 1. And for this one, c is nothing but 1, 1, 0, 0, b is 1011, and this one is 001 and 0101. So if you are making XOR operation for same variable, if it is 1 XOR 1, it will be 1, sorry, 0 XOR 0 equal to 0. If you are having any of this like 0 and 1, then it will be 1, and 1 XOR 0 will be 1. So same, it is 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 0, then 1 0 1 0. This is different variable, so 1 different variable 1, same variable 0 0. So this is the answer. This is 3 and this is 5. Okay, and this is nothing but 2 3 5, and this is 2 0. So answer is 3520 in hexadecimal, 3520. Okay, so these are the questions of quiz 1. If you want to attend the quiz, then do join the Telegram channel. Okay, thank you so much guys for watching this video. If you like this video, then please hit the like button, and if you are a new user, then just subscribe the channel. Thank you so much.